I'm Shohreh Shakoory. I'm an Iranian composer and pianist, and currently I live in Kent, south part of England, and so I've been here for quite a while. Moved from Iran. It's quite a while. I have lived in Belgium some years, and then went back. I came back to UK again.
You work in a territory that I don't know that many women being there.
It's true. I think it's several reasons. Well, in my generation, I remember, because it was just after the Islamic Revolution, so all the universities and all the conservatoires and concert halls, cinemas, theater, I can't remember that, but they were all closed, so it was not easy. And so it, art was the bottom list of everything in society. But yes, I loved music very much, and we were living in a little town, so it was not that easy to get a teacher and to find an instrument. So it was quite challenging, but I'm very happy I went for it, and I fight for it, and I worked very hard for it. Because as a musician, especially if you want to play an instrument, best is when you are young to start. But obviously we were in a little town in northeast of Iran, so it was, they didn't know even what the piano is. I remember even when I bought a piano, and the people who brought it to our home, the guys were carrying this. Why this wardrobe is so heavy? Can you empty this stuff from inside so it won't be that heavy? So it was just no idea of what the instrument is. But so I had to travel from where I was, Shahrud, to the capital city, and I have music lesson with teachers who were professors from previous regime that they would teach privately. So I had to go with bosses or coaches and train like 8, 10, 12 hours, sometimes longer, to go and have a lesson and come back. So that was 4 years I did it.
That shows dedication and love. And also shows that we as human beings, we are so resourceful and strong. If it's something that we really want, we can go for it. Limitation shouldn't actually stop us. So I'm glad that you persisted and you carried on doing all those journeys backwards and forwards, and now you're here, a composer. Wow. Very proud to be a friend of yours, and even more proud to have you today with us in Jar of Words. I know
pleasure.
You're busy and you're always trying to organize things for the events that you're doing. It's amazing. It's amazing what each and every, particularly women, successful women, have to do to be able to get where they want to get. So well done with that.
Thank you.
And obviously, we talked about problems such as having to travel long distance to get to somewhere that you could be you could have someone who could teach you what you wanted to do. And in life, we are all facing situations. It doesn't matter what we want to do. We are always have to go through barriers, have to deal with many challenges to get from A to B where we want to be. For each and every one of us, there are times in life that things don't go according to plan, and we have to come up with plan B, or we have to, sit out a little bit waiting for our turn in a way. When you are faced with difficult periods in your life, what helps you to keep pushing, to move forward?
Well, several things. First of all, I think the best teacher, the best thing that I could be myself, and I can get inspired. Nature, and then is imagination, and of course friends, people who you feel close to, you feel you can say what you feel. But nature, I think, is one of those elements that so strong. I think if you go with the intention just to listen to nature, is like, you go and see a friend, you have a coffee together, so you listen to each other. So if you go in that with this intention, I think it calms you down. So, and one of the trick is, I think, when you are distracted from what bothers you, what is hurting you, things better, because you're not all the time sitting in that painful position. So I think that's nature. And of course, then when I say imagination, is one of the things that we make things more complicated or harder, is when we imagine things in a negative way, and things not necessarily will end up in a very horrible way, but when we predict that it's going to happen like that, I think that makes things more difficult. So I would say perhaps my nature is positive. I'm born to, I don't know, I'm trust soon. I'm positive. I don't go in that dark route, even if I am in a very hard situation. I always think, no, it will be happy ending. It will be okay. I think these are the things. It helps. And of course, when you're artist, I think it's you're lucky in a way, because with anything that you are confronted, the happiness or the difficulties, you can make something of it, and then that becomes a being that you can play with it. You can manipulate it in a way that it will be resolved, or it will be peaceful. So that's something that I think it's good. I think for me, I feel lucky in that sense, that if I am in that mood, I can improvise, I can play something, and
sure,
it already makes me peaceful.
Yeah, fantastic. I tend to write, and as you said, when there is difficult periods that I go through, writing does help me. It's like almost as a therapy.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
It's fantastic.
Yes. And that words, yes, it's even stronger in some ways. Yeah.
And when a piece is coming out of that hard period, you could actually almost feel the pain and the sorrow that's gone into creating that piece of music.
Yes.
I switched over to Persian suddenly.
Because it's very close to you what you're saying, so it jumps out.
It does. It's amazing. It not only helps you to get through that difficult time, it produces something that quite a lot of other people could relate to, feel it, even if they're just observing from outside. So it is an amazing strength that we all have as human being, turning something negative into positive.
Yes.
Get benefit out of a difficult situation. So, Shohreh Jan, what is the best advice given to you? I know you are in the position that you always advise everyone around you, and I quite like.
I'm not sure.
Well, I quite like to listen to your positive vibe every time that you say something, and it would be interesting to know what advice has worked for you as a person. So if you could share with us.
I think we have something in Farsi. in his book, Sarah. I think it's a very simple phrase, but I like it. It says, this will pass. This will pass too. So don't stick to it too long. If it's sadness, if happiness, so just remember that this will change. I think that's it. We take life too seriously sometimes. And I think, we talk too much, we use too much, we buy too much, we eat too much, everything. It could be simple, and it could be very compact. Yeah,
sure. This phrase in his book, Zara, this will pass too, is one of my favorite things.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I've actually got it written on a piece of card. I haven't written it. I have bought the card. That it is easier to talk about it than to stick to it, because once you are in that difficult time,
yes,
believing that you would come through, it's difficult, because you're very much immersed in that moment that you cannot see future when you have passed through that hurdle. But it has happened so many times before. And when you think about it, sometimes that you've had a difficult year or difficult months or whatever. But sometimes when you think about the reason for you feeling like that, you might not even clearly remember what was it that made you that tense or that nervous about the situation that you were in. Because as you said, this will pass too. So we need, I know I need to keep telling myself when there are problems that, this will pass, definitely. And also, when it's a joyful time, again, we need to remind ourselves it's not going to be there forever. So enjoy it while you can, Life is limited anyway. We all got to be reminded sometimes that it's not just about work. We need to take time off with friends, with family. We need to enjoy ourselves. So to me, it's a very close advice as well. So thank you for sharing that with us. And as you know, Jar of Words is a writing website.
Yes.
And what I normally ask people to talk about a book or a number of books that they have read and it has helped them. So if there is any book that you could share with us that has had a profound effect on you, that would be wonderful.
Yes. Well, this book, I think I came across it by a friend gave me. I was, I think, around 18 years old. And haiku is Japanese poetry, which was translated, of course, in Farsi. But it became my holy book because I think the way that the haiku, well, it has certain rules, and it has a very close relationship with the Zen Buddhism. Also, it's very visual, and it made a big effect on my way of looking at things, at the simplicity of life, and also the beauty that you can see, and yes, I loved it very much. And until today, this book has been with me every performance that I have to go on the stage, which I've done it 100 times, but still, before going on the stage, it's, you are a bit, your heartbeat is going. Yeah. This is the book that calms me down, because when I read the poetry, when I travel to where the poet wants to take me, I think that has a very profound effect on me, and so it puts me in a right place to go on the stage and do my best.
Fantastic. It's amazing to have something like that has helped you throughout all these years. It would be fantastic to have the name of the book, and also the details. So if anyone else is interested, they could go and have a look. I would share the details of the book when I post this online. And haikus are amazing. They're just I did try to write haikus some time ago, and it's I think the power is in as you mentioned, simplicity, because you're limited to the number of syllables that you could have. So every word, every even letter does have a set place, and it needs to carry something. You cannot use words just for the sake of writing something. You're limited on the number of syllables that you use. So you have to really think, really distill the idea that you want to use in your poem. So it's amazing. I've never read that many haikus, so it would be interesting for me to have a look at the book that you said. And definitely,
well, that's the combination of different haikus. Old one, there are some that is from 500 years ago, but it's interesting that artists from that time, even older than that, when they write the poetry, when you read their poetry, you don't feel that this is from 800 years ago. And the freshness that you think is from today, that's very interesting. And it's a style of poetry. Yes, you can have it in Farsi, I suppose, but I think partly in Japanese, because they have onomatopoeia, the word that it has certain rhythm, so it helps. It's like our poetry in Iran, so it has the rhyme that with the language you can feel it, but when it's translated, it's a bit, you lose it. So I liked Basho. It's one of the poets, but there are hundreds of different poets, and modern one as well. You can find the one that you like.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's been amazing to have you with us today, and take you away from your busy life, and also opening a slot for us to listen to you. And it's always a pleasure to see you, to talk to you. So thank you. Thank you for all your time. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
Maybe I can talk about what I'm currently doing.
That would be great.
Yes. Well, I'm currently busy with this big project for children orchestra, and it's based on the tale from Shahnameh. So it's a theatrical performance for narrator, soprano, animation, and orchestra. So I've been busy with it since 2017. So it's about 4 years now I'm busy with it. And so it's a 1-hour performance. So I've written about 40 minutes music, and which has been very challenging and interesting as well. And so that took me through, meeting a lot of new people and learning a lot of new things that I didn't know. And so hopefully we're going to perform it in London, Cambridge, York, and Canterbury. So this is coming for 2022. So if is anyone interested, if you have any children, I mean, it could be for adults as well, because the animation is not, childish, and the music, it is, it can be for adults as well, because it has, well, I use the standard symphony orchestra in combination with some Persian instrument, ethnic instrument, percussion and duduk. So to have, and the way that I use the music, the atmosphere of the music, it has some Iranian element. So I think maybe something for Iranian and English people.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously English music is an international language, and it speaks with everyone.
And animation. Yes,
animation as well is is very powerful. Not to mention the story starts from Shahnameh, a book that is very near to my heart. So I'm
Yes,
really excited about this, and best of luck. And I definitely go and see it when it comes.
lovely.
You know, when it's played. Fantastic. So you
Thank
are
you.
very busy these days with this project, but what better than doing something that, you know, you can feel it in your heart and it's your passion. So I know it's difficult, but I also know that you're enjoying it. So
Yeah, of course, of course. Yes, if it's not that, you don't. But I think, and one of the things about creative job, I don't know, I see a lot of people, they think that when you want to compose, it's like God tells you something and you start to write, but it's not like this. There are moments that are really painful. You don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. What is the next? So they are, I'm sure every artist, I'm sure you hit that point sometimes as well, that it's, you write, you create, and then, but there are moments that you just think, and then what's next? You don't know, and you have to find it. So, yeah.
The way that I refer to it is sometimes the pieces that I write, for me, is like a birth, is a process,
Yes, yes.
and is also painful, but it's so joyful as well at the same time. It's is a creation. That's what you would expect, and
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, this is a thing. You know, things are going in the right way if if you hit painful moments. So yeah, and as you said, there are times that you get inspiration, you get an idea, and you know, sometimes I might be asleep and I wake up in the middle of the night with an idea. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to write. And I might put pen to paper and start writing. But for it to be a complete piece, it is a process. It
Yes,
requires
yes, of course.
quite a lot of
Yes.
time and effort. So well done.
Thank you.
Doing
Well
what
done,
you're
you.
doing. We are so proud of you and wish you
Pleasure.
luck with everything that you do.